So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Edge free topical webinar. Today's webinar is going to be on notifications. So we're going to talk today about notifications, and we use notifications typically for services, but you can also use them for wish lists as well. So I'm going to start off today's class by closing out of our news feed, and we are going to, I'm going to give this a moment. We're going to go and start out by going into our system options. And the reason that I want to go into my system options is because that's always a good place to start out when we go to talk about a new topic. So I'm going to come down to administrative at the top left. We're going to go to system options towards the bottom of the menu. And when I click on it, it's going to ask for my ID and password to make sure that I have permissions to change system options. And you're going to notice that we get this box here. Now, this box is where we keep all of our system options, and we have a ton of them. And if you've taken my class before, you've heard it before, you'll hear it again. Anytime that you are working with the Edge and you think to yourself, hey, Edge, you know what? I wish the Edge had this, or I wish that the Edge behaved like that, or it looked like that, or it had this wording in it. The first place I want you to come is to system options, because chances are there's a very good chance that you can get what it is you're looking for by adjusting a system option here. System options control how the Edge looks, a lot of what it does, logos, if you want to put your logo on your receipts, system option. If you want fine print on your claim checks for any of your services, that's a system option. If you want to change your receipt disclaimers, that's a system option. If you want to control how wish list items are split between associates, that's a system option. So this is a great place to start. And if you haven't really played in this menu a lot and you have permission to do so, I recommend coming in and printing out this list, because there is a print button down at the bottom in the newer versions of the Edge. And you can go in and print these out and take a look at them, okay? Now there's also a little search bar up at the top with a magnifying glass. So I'm gonna type in notifications. And when I click enter, it's going to bring up a list of all my options that have to do with notifications. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to start out here, I'm going to click the first one and light it up blue, and I'm going to bring it up to the top here. So you'll see that we just have a few options for notifications. The first one is notification field displayed on special order intake. So this means if we went to do a special order, would there be an option to add in a notification? Now, the only one we really have a option for as far as whether to display the option to take a notification or not is on special orders. And we have a reason for that. And the reason is that typically the way that notifications work is whether you are signed up with texting or whether you're using email in the system. When a customer comes in and you do an intake for their job, you can ask them, how would you like to be notified when your job is ready to be picked up? And the customer may say, oh, can you send me a text message? Or, oh, can you send me an email? And let's face it, a lot of times now people are sort of stepping away more from the phone calls. People are working, they're busy, they're out and about. They screen their calls a lot now. So using text and email is a great way to reach out to your customers and let them know, hey, this is Edge Jewelers here, letting you know your job is complete and ready to be picked up. Now, once they've selected their notification method and you put that in on the repair, the custom, the appraisal, the special order, once that job is marked as done, the Edge is going to fire off that text or that email to the customer, letting them know that their job is complete and ready to be picked up. In the case of special orders, however, the notification is going to go out once that item is received into inventory. Now that may work perfectly for a lot of your special orders, but you may have a situation where you special order an item in for a customer and the piece has to go to the shop before you're going to have the customer come in and pick it up. Maybe you special order a ring for a customer, but they also want it engraved and it's got to go to the shop. In that case, we don't want to have our notification set on the special order, because if we did, we'd have the customer coming in too early to pick up their item. So some stores have decided, hey, I don't want to do notifications for special orders at all. And in that case, they have come in and they will go to notification field displayed on special order intake, and they'll set it to false. Now, I still think it's a valuable tool to have your customers be notified automatically when their special orders in. But sometimes you do have to do a little bit of thought process behind it as far as when you're going to notify the customer. If I have a situation where I have a customer who's coming in and they're going to do a special order and that item has to go to the shop before the customer picks it up, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to create a special order for that customer, and then I'm going to create a repair for that customer for the engraving work. And instead of putting the notification on the special order, I'm going to put it on the repair instead. That way, when the piece comes in, special order, I'm going to take my envelope, move my repair to the front, my special order to the back. I'm going to send it to the shop. And then once my jeweler marks that repair is done, that's when my notification will go out. We have, do you want to require notifications on appraisals, custom jobs, repairs, and special orders? Again, if you have this set to true, it means that the associate must select a form of contact to notify the customer when their job is done. Okay. If you decide you're going to use notifications, you may want to make this required just to make sure that nobody is falling through the cracks and that everybody is assigned a notification method. Okay. Now, notification methods could be texting if you're using texting in the system and you're signed up for it, could be email, or it could be a phone call, and we still allow you to do a great old-fashioned phone call as well. But at least this way, everybody will know how that customer wants to be notified, when they have been notified, and you can follow up if the customer needs to be re-notified. So I might actually recommend setting these to true. For require notifications on special orders, that one you may want to leave to false, because again, that one behaves a little bit differently than the jobs do. We also have an option here, send images with email notifications. Now, if you click on that, it will note down at the bottom. Now, anytime you click on a system option up at the top, at the bottom of the big box, you're going to see that there'll be a little bit more information about that particular system option. So in this case, when I click send images with email notifications, it's going to put some information at the bottom about that option. And it says set this to true, then images will be sent in some notifications. So if we send out an email for notifications, we may see an image of the piece that's ready to be picked up. So some email clients will not always display these images correctly. This means that whatever internet service provider or email service provider the customer is using, it may distort the image, and there's not really anything that the Edge can do about it. It will send the image correctly, but we can't necessarily guarantee that the recipient's email service is going to display it correctly. So we do let you know that at the bottom of the box here. Once you have your options set, we can click OK, and we can make sure that all of the rest of our setup for notifications is done. Now, if we come up to administrative, now I will tell you here that you can, like I said, there's three options. A customer can choose to get a phone call when their job is done. A customer, if you're using texting, can choose to get a text message when their job is complete. And also, if you're using email, customer can get an email. Now, when it comes to texting, texting is a licensed billable feature in the Edge. Now, if you're using our partner called Podium for online reviews, you may also be using their texting service. And if you are, that can be linked up to your Edge license. Now, if you're using the Podium texting, you may need to let them know you're going to be using it for Edge notifications so that they can flip a switch on their end to allow for that. But yes, you can use Podium texting in the Edge. We also have our own texting service for notifications. Now, if you're going to be if you want to get signed up for texting, there is a fee for it. The fee for texting is $25 a month plus 5 cents for every text sent the month prior. Okay. So there is a monthly fee for it, and you do pay for what you use. So it's 5 cents for every text you sent in the month prior, plus the $25 a month fee. Now, I know some people pause and say, oh, there's a fee for it, but I'm going to tell you, if you think about it, when we have customers who need to get notified that their jobs are done, if we have a lot of them, we may have an associate sitting in the back making phone call after phone call, leaving voicemail after voicemail. And I know myself, I'm not always great about checking my voicemails, and I also don't always answer the phone if I don't recognize the number on my personal cell phone. So that's a lot of time spent, right? Whereas if we're using notifications, we can automatically notify the customer, get that sales associate off the phone, and get them on the sales floor selling where they want to be and the store wants them to be, because that's where we sell things and we make money, is when the associates are on the floor. Now, if you want to get signed up for texting, I believe, I don't know as far as all the pricing, as far as if you have Podium, but if you contact our sales department at sales@ajsllc.com, let me put that in here for you. I'm going to put it into chat. They can go answer any questions you may have about how to sign up for texting. Usually they'll have you fill out a form which has some information, questions on it about how you want the texting to behave. And then they'll get you all set up. They'll issue you a new license. And once you've got that license installed, you should be good to go and you can start using texting. Now, we also can email notifications as well. Now, some of you may already be using email in the Edge, but if you are not, you're going to want to come to your newsfeed. Okay. Now, when you come into your newsfeed, you're going to see we have a lot of stuff in red here. We have a lot of things going on right now. But if you scroll down to the bottom, near the bottom, and sometimes these move around on the menu, so you might have to take a peek for it, you'll see a little white box here with black writing that says Edge Email Setup. Now, if you come in here and click this box, it's going to give you instructions for each email provider on how to set up email in the Edge. So if you are a Gmail customer, for example, if you come down here and your email account for the store is a Gmail one, you can click Gmail. And when you do, we will give you step-by-step instructions with screenshots and pictures of how to go in and sign it up. Now, I know the tab looks a little scary, but don't be scared. What you're going to need to do if you have a Gmail account, this is Gmail specific, you will need to go into your Gmail settings, and there is a setting there that's called Allow Less Secure Apps. And you're going to want to turn that on. And what that will allow you to do is it will allow the Edge to be able to use your Gmail account to send emails. So we definitely want to make sure that we have that set to true. That's going to allow your emails to work. Okay. Now, once you have that set up and you've set that setting up in your Gmail, as we scroll down, you'll see that it's going to give you instructions for how to get to the email settings set up in the Edge. And it's going to bring up this box, and it's going to give you all the settings that you need to plug into this box. Now, I like to pull this up this way, and then I like to come over to administrative. We're going to come down to email settings, and you're going to see that we have 4 options here. We have receipts and job details. We have customer marketing. We have notifications, and we have internal. Internal works for things like associate tasks, appointments, and things of that nature. So you can email internally as well. Now, if you want us to get this set up, the first place I want you to go when you come into email settings is customer marketing. And we tell you that up at the top, right above my little picture on the news feed there, that we have you go to customer marketing first. And the reason that we send you there is because once you have your customer marketing option set, you can then go into all the other options. So receipts and job details, notifications, and internal. And from there, you can go in and will be a little white checkbox that says copy details from customer marketing. So once you have customer marketing set up, everything else will just copy right over for you, and it's nice and time saving, and we'll make sure everything is set up correctly. Okay, so we're going to go to customer marketing. I'm going to put in my ID and password, and when I do, you're going to see that this box appears, and it looks just like the one on the news feed in the instructions, right? So I would come in and I would just fill in my information. I would put in my store name at the top, from name. From email would be the email address that I'm going to use. The SMTP server, we would fill that in. Now I'm actually using my work email, which is Office 365. So I have 365 options in here rather than Gmail. But you would put in your Gmail, smtp.gmail.com. You're going to put your port number in. You're going to check the box. You're going to check the next box. And then you're going to put in the email address. And you're going to put in the password for that email address. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know, I worked in support for many years. And one question we get all the time is, hey, you know what? I have my email set up and it was working fine and I was sending out tons of emails, and then all of a sudden it's not working. Why is that? And typically that's because someone went into the actual email account and changed the password and did not come into the Edge and update the password here. So just keep that in mind. If you change the password on your email account, on your email settings, you will also need to come into Edge and make sure you change the password here and then test it again. Now, once you got your settings in, you can come in and select Test Connection, and the Edge is going to say a test email will be sent to the designated email addresses. Do you wish to perform the operation? And we're going to click yes, and the Edge will let me know if it was successful, and it's telling me that yes, it was. So now I can come in and I would go to administrative, email settings, and I'm going to go to notifications. And here at the bottom is that little box that says copy values from customer marketing. And if I check it, it will copy everything over from what I've just set up and successfully tested and fill in the boxes for me. Okay. So once that's done and I get a successful test connection, I can click OK, and I'm now ready to go. Now, when we come into point of sale, I'll pull myself up here. Now, when I pull myself up, if we go over to our purple buttons in the far right upper corner, you're going to see we have special order, repair intake, appraisal intake, and custom job intake. And if you come in and you select special order, you'll see that we have our special order screen, and kind of in the middle section off to the right, there will be a box here that says notify. So I can come in and I can select a notification method by clicking the drop down. Now, when we click the drop down, you're going to see that we have my contact methods, which will pull up just my contact methods or whoever's on the screen. But if I select all contact methods, just like at point of sale, it will bring up not only Sasha's contact methods, but also Brandon's contacts as well. So we can see who we want to send the notification to. Okay. Now, if you see the little handset, that indicates a phone call. Customer would like a phone call. It's going to give you the type of phone it is, who the phone number belongs to, and the contact addressee. Now, if you see the little sort of, looks almost like an old BlackBerry with a little talk bubble, that means the customer wants a text. And an envelope means they want an email. Anything that has a green circle around it means that it is typically the customer's preferred contact method. They have said that they want their preferred phone number to be XYZ. Now, if I want to send an email out, I could simply check the box for it, click OK, save and close, and the Edge will say notify Sasha@ajsllc.com. And I would go about setting up my special order. If we were dealing with an appraisal, you'll see that on the appraisal screen, our notify dropdown is sort of right in the middle here. And again, we have a notify section, and there's information here about the different contact methods. If the customer does not have a contact method for a phone and they want to be texted and you do texting, you can come in and add their phone number here. Same thing with email. Custom jobs, the notification method is going to be at the bottom, and you'll see notify here with the drop down. And for a repair, you will see the notification method in the top right corner. So if I came in here and I said, came in and I started doing this repair, okay? So I'm going to come in, I'm going to select a contact method. I'm going to say email. And we're going to say we're going to engrave it. And I'm going to put in labor. And I'm just going to do this real quick, just to show you kind of how this works. So I've got my repair intake done, and I told the Edge that the customer wants to be notified by email. Give me the email address. Now I can come in here and pay for the item. I'm going to pay for it using a store credit I have, and I'm going to click done. And when I click done, the Edge is going to pull up my receipt. Now, when you use a notification for a customer on a job, you will notice that at the bottom here of the repair section, so it has the repair, it says what I'm going to be doing here, the task, etc. And then it's going to let me know, we will email you at, give the customer's email address when the job is complete, or we will text you at and include the customer's phone number, or we will call you at. So it's going to put the notification method right here on the receipt for me. And that makes things nice and easy because I can see exactly what's going on, okay? And the customer will know how to expect to get notified when that job is complete. Now, if I go to the next page of my receipt, you'll see my claim check here on the left. And if we come over here on the right, you will see it'll have the customer's first 4 letters of their last name, the ETA date, the 0505. And if you look, it'll have the customer's name and their notification method. So it's going to say the customer wants to be emailed with this email address. So it's going to put it on the job envelope too. Now that I've done this, if I went into services and I went to find, and I went to pull that job up, Sasha has a lot of jobs here, as you can see. But if I go to pull the one from today, and I come over here to my job. Now remember, there's a couple of ways that we can mark a job as done in the Edge, okay? So I like to throw in a little extra knowledge while we're doing these classes. When you come in to mark a job as done, there are 4 ways that you can mark a job as done in the Edge. First way to mark a job as done is we can come in here and see there's this done drop down here. I can come in and just select a date on the calendar, and the Edge will put in a date and time stamp and mark the job as done. So as soon as I save it, it would mark the job as complete and it would send the notification out. Now, if I came in here and I cleared that out, another way that I can mark the job as done is to come in and I can click on the task and I can select done/undone task. And if I do that and I mark the tasks as done, once you have marked all of the tasks as done in the Edge, it's going to mark the job as done. Why? Because if all the work is done, the job is considered complete. So it's going to go in and mark the job as done. So it'll date and timestamp this, but it'll also fill in the date and timestamp for when you mark the job as done. And if I sent this, it would send the notification. I can also move an envelope to a done location. So if you're using locations in the Edge, and if you have a location with a little check mark checked on it that says moving a job to this location marks it as done. If I came in here and I selected that location, so in my system, oh, I don't have it in here anymore. Usually I do, done and call. If I select done and call, it means that that location for me has the checkbox checked. So if I scan a job to that location, it's going to automatically move the job over, but it's also going to mark the job as done, and it will send the notification out for me. Okay. Lastly, we have the done button. So if you go to services and done on the left-hand side, you can select your person up at the top, and I can come in and I can scan either all the tasks or I can scan the job. And as soon as I scan it through, it's going to mark them as done. Okay. In this case, I'm just going to come in. I've got my task mark done, which is put a done date and time into my done box at the bottom. And I'm going to click OK, save, and stay. And when I do, I want you to look at the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, and you're going to notice that a box will pop up. We call this a toaster box here in the edge, and it's going to pop up letting me know that a notification, has been sent to Sasha at ajsllc.com and letting the customer know that their job is complete and ready to be picked up. So it's as easy as that. We just mark the job as done, and the edge will handle it. Now, of course, if a customer has requested a phone number, someone will need to pick up the phone and give them a call. But if you're using text or notifications in the edge, the notification method will go out automatically. Now, if a customer is not coming in to pick up their jobs, let's say you notify them, you can come in and find notifications. So you can come under services, notifications, and find and look them up. But there also is a re-notify. So if I send something out, let's say last month, I sent a notification out and they have not come in and picked up the item, I can come in and I can select a notification and I may resend it out. I could say, you know what, I'm going to resend, I'll resend this one and this one. So I've got one that's a text and one that's an email. We're going to say the customer did not come in here and get these items. If I come down to the lower left corner, I can come down and click send, and the edge will resend out those notifications. So you'll see the green bar move across, and the edge is going to resend those notifications out to the customer, letting them know, hey, your job is complete and ready to be picked up. And I just got a text on my cell phone and on my watch, and it says, hello, this is Edge Jewelers. Today is May 4th, and we wanted to let you know that repair such and such is complete and ready to be picked up. Okay, so you can resend your notifications as needed. Now, another place you can send notifications is on wish lists. So if I come in and I create a wish list, well, I'm going to pull up myself again. So if a customer is coming in, they're setting up a wish list. Now, whether you are going to use wish list entry mode in the system, or whether you are just going to simply come in and find an item and save it to the wish list, either way, you can still do a notification. So I may come in and say, customers looking for a diamond wedding band. We'll pick this one. And if a customer wants to add it to the wish list, when you come down and click save to wish list, the edge is going to pop up a box here. And down at the bottom, I can put comments in. It's going to say, whose wish list is this? Now I have Sasha pulled up at the top, so it's automatically going to pull her up. And automatically, by default, it will put in the spouse. So if Sasha is updating her wish list and we want, by default, it's going to put Brandon's name in there, okay, because Brandon is a spouse. And it's going to ask how we want to notify. So I'm going to say we're going to notify Brandon. I'm going to use Brandon's email, which goes to my home email, but I'm going to select the box here. I'm going to click OK. And once I can select the event. So maybe I'm going to say for Mother's Day, and Mother's Day is May 10th. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to put the date, and I can click OK. And once I'm done, the edge will save it to the wish list, and it's also going to email the customer, letting them know that Sasha has updated her wish list. So Brandon's going to get a notification. And if I go into my email right now, I just got an email on my home email that says, hello, we'd like to inform you that Sasha Latanzi has updated their wish list. Our contact information is below, and it'll have all the store's information there. Okay, so we can come in and we can send those notifications and let the person know, hey, your spouse just came in and updated their wish list. Come on in. Now, showed you how to set up wish list. Showed you how to set up notifications, types of notifications, etc. Now, people often ask me, hey, can I customize my notification? And the answer is yes, you can. Now you don't have to. I just want everybody to understand that, because I'll show you this, but I want you to understand that you do not have to. By default, once you get going and you start using notifications, the Edge is already set up to rock and roll. It will send out notifications without you having to do any further setup than making sure either your text is set up or your email set up. But if you come into administrative and we come down to notifications, I gotta look for it today. You'll see that we have some options. We have email administration, emails, headers and footers, email subjects and greetings, text message administration, and text messages. Okay. Now, I'm going to start off with text messages, and we're going to come in here. Now, when you first come in here, you're going to want to set one up. If you're going to customize these, you're probably going to want to set one up for each type of notification. So one for repairs, one for customs, one for appraisals, one for special orders, etc. So I came in here and I've got some set up. Now, when you come in here, you're going to want to click add, and you're going to want to put in some information. Now, I'll show you what I did here on mine. I'm going to double click on it. I just want to see what I did for the second one as well. So what I did is I came in and I clicked new, and I gave the notification a title. Now, you need a title so that you can make sure you can select it when the time comes. Okay, so you know which one you're doing. So I have repair done, so I know that this one is for repairs. Okay, and I also give it a description. So you can put the same thing in, or you could put something else in, but the description's really so you see what it's for. Now on the right hand side, you're going to see notification type, and this is where you're going to come in and select the type of notification it's going to be. Is it for repairs? Is it for customs? Is it for appraisals? So you're going to select it. Now, once you select it, down at the bottom, the Edge is going to give you the system default. So our system default is going to have the store name. So it's going to pull that information out of your license and insert it into the text for you. It's going to say repair, and then it's going to take the job envelope number. So it's going to pull that information out of the database for the job you marked done, and it's going to say is done and ready to be picked up. Now, if I want my text to be a little more flowery, I can come in here and customize it. So as I put in my text input, it's going to give me a text sample output so I can see what it would look like. And we're going to use some fields over here on the right-hand side that say notification type merge fields. Now, merge fields we have in a couple of areas in the Edge. We have them here. We also have them in emails. So if you were to send an email blast, you'll see these there as well. And the way that merge fields work is you can select a merge field and insert it over into your text. And what will happen is when you go to send this text message, the Edge will pull the information from the merge field and insert it into the text. So mine, I wrote hello, this is, and then I came over here, I selected store name and I clicked insert, and it will put that information there. Now, if you're using merge fields, make sure you use punctuation, make sure you use your spaces just like you normally would. I wrote today is, and then I came in and selected today's date and clicked insert. So the customer sees the actual date that we sent the notification. So I said today is May 4th, 2020, and we wanted to let you know that repair, and I would come in here typically and I would select envelope number, click insert. I gotta adjust it here. Let's see. That repair, I'm gonna select envelope number. Oh, see, now look what happened. Keep in mind that texting does have character limits. So the character limit for sending a text out of the Edge is 160 characters. If you go over, you may find that it's going to cut the text message off. Occasionally it may go into 2 messages. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to clear this up. The other thing I like to tell people is keep in mind that some of the information may slightly adjust your characters. If you have your character count right to like 159, 160 characters, and today's date, let's say, or the store name has a lot of characters to it, you're going to lose other characters there. If you have a very long store name, in this case, when it goes to fill it in, that may take up more characters and you're going to run into less characters for the rest of your message. So you may want to play with this a little bit. But you can see that it's saying that today is May 4, 2020, and we wanted to let you know that repair 82302 is complete and ready to be picked up. Now, once you've created that, you can click OK, Save and Close, or you can click Save and New, and you can create one for custom jobs, one for special orders, one for appraisals. Now, once you've created your messages, we can then come into administration. We can come down to notifications, and this time we can go to text message administration. Now, what this screen allows you to do is select which messages you want to use. So for repairs, do I want to use the system default? Do I want to use repair done text customize, or the one I just looked at, which is repair done customize to? If I want to use customize to, I'm going to select it. And you can come through and you can decide, do you want to use the system default message for those, or do you want to use the one that you customized and created? And you would just simply select which ones you want. For wish list, I only have a default. I haven't created a new one. But if I did and I wanted to change it, I could come in here and make those adjustments. Okay. At the bottom, it's going to give you a month by month text message usage. So you can see how many texts you have sent out for the month. So for May, I've only sent one text so far this month, and it will give you a breakdown of how you sent the texts out. Did you send them for appraisals, repairs, custom jobs? Did you send new task texts? That's hard to say. And it'll give you your total sent for the month. So you can use that to help you figure out your billing and how many texts you've used. Now for emails are pretty similar. We're going to come into administration, notifications, and we have emails, headers and footers, and email subjects and greetings. And these are all going to work the same way. So you'll see your defaults, but also you may decide that you want to customize it. So you may want to say, instead of greetings, John Smith, you may want it to say, Dear John Smith. That would be going into email subjects and greetings and going in and updating that. You can also customize the subject lines for your emails. Do you want it to say something very specific? You can change the subject line of your email. Your subject line is the line of the email you see when you first open up your email account and you start looking through your emails. You'll see a subject line there. It's meant to get the customer's attention, and hopefully it's exciting enough that the customer decides to click on it. Now we also have headers and footers. Headers and footers, these are a great way to come in. I like to use footers a lot. So you'll see that you can come in and create footers that has information about things going on at the store. These are a great way for you to come in and let the customer know exciting things that are going on at the store, or things that you might want to let them know, like your hours, your location, so they know when they can come in and get that job. Okay. So I may create a footer that says, hey, this is my store hours and locations. So if I come down here, I have a footer that I created. Again, I gave it a title, I gave it a description, and I selected that it was a footer. Footers go at the bottom of the email, and they're a perfect way to let customers know information. Now, I always recommend having a footer that has your store information on it. So your store name, maybe your slogan, your address, your email, your phone number, your website, and your hours too. So the customer knows exactly when they can come in and pick up their items. But you can also you can actually use 2 footers per email. So you may have one footer for your address and information, but we may also create a footer here. You'll see that we have a footer. That one's for a past ladies night. Let me see here. I just want to see what I've got coming in. This is a perfect example. I may have a footer that has an upcoming event at the store, something to get the customers excited about to come in. Keep in mind the email is free, so we can send it out, basically free advertising to customers for events we have coming up. Maybe you have a ladies' night coming up. Maybe you have a men's night coming up. Maybe you have a big in-store event. Maybe you have a sale coming up that you want customers to come to. You can put in at the bottom of your email, hey, bring this email in for, you know, an extra 5% off, you know? So something that gives them a reason to come back into the store, because at the end of the day, we want them to keep coming back. We've got them in to come in and pick up their item, but we want them to come back a day in the future. And this is a perfect way to reach out to customers and keep them coming back. And it's free advertising that's just going to go out without any effort from you aside from setting it up on any of your notifications. The only thing I want to tell you is if you're going to be sending out footers to send out for marketing purposes, make sure someone's kind of in charge for keeping an eye on that so that they can refresh them as needed. Now, again, just like we went into notifications and we went into text message administration, we can go to email administration, and again, we can decide the type of notification we want to set up. So I could say repair done, and I can piece together how I want this to look. Do I have a header for my repair done notifications for emails? No. Do I have a footer? If I do, I would put that in. I can then come in and pick a second footer. So I may say, hey, this is our wish list, our wish list footer, or we have our wish list footer here. Once you go in, you can pick your subject that you've created. So as long as you're naming them, that you understand what they are. So this is my repair done subject. This is my repair done greeting. I can come in and piece together what it would look like. And when I click preview, it will let the customer know the following jobs are complete and ready to be picked up. We would see the jobs listed out. We would see the store information, the hours, etc. And we can also see the upcoming events. You know, this one has a lot of duplicate information on it because I piecemealed stuff, but you can come in and put these together the way you want and then double check it by preview, and then you can save it, go to your next one for, you know, custom job done, and you can pick which ones you want, get them in order, preview it to make sure it looks good to you, and then click save and stay, and it will save it out. And you can go through and select each one and make sure you have it set just the way that you want. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, please raise your hand. That will let me know so I don't skip over you or miss your question. I want to make sure if you have a question, I get to it. I'm checking for hands, checking for hands. Okay, everybody, well, that's all I have for you today. We have a bunch of more webinars coming up this week on all different topics, so please feel free to sign up for them at your convenience. You should be able to see a list of all the different ones we have going on. Don't forget also, all of our training is free right now, so if there's a class you've been eyeing and thinking about taking, now is the time to take it. So you can register for either our regular classes, the 100s, 200s, 300s, or you can take the topicals. It's all free for you right now due to the coronavirus crisis. Also keep in mind, we do have the promotion going on for the reopening. There's information about that on your news feed. You probably got an email sent to the store as well about it. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Lots of valuable information there and tools to have in your back pocket to help the reopening process. Thanks everybody for joining me. Have a wonderful afternoon. Stay healthy, be well, and let's continue to get educated. Have a great day.